obviously you got some, I guess, good news with, or semi-good news with Marzilli. What's the update with him? Will he be cleared to play this weekend?
It appears at this point that he's going to be available. He obviously has missed a little bit of time now with the games and practice. He hasn't been allowed to do anything, and anxious to see if he makes it to practice today. We're in exam, so they have a flex schedule. They don't have to be here, so see if he is able to be here for a little bit of a workout.
Not a lot of teams could absorb a loss like Jackie Bradley and put on top of that Adam Matthews. How important is it to you to have guys like Scott Wingle and Brady Thomas and Adrian Morales kind of anchor the team and kind of get you together? And have you noticed them doing anything maybe to say it's not over, guys, or anything like that?
Well, you know, all teams have injuries, all teams have situations to deal with, and we're not any different, never have been. Maybe we're a little bit heavier right now than a lot of teams, but you can't sit around and worry about it and whine about it and make excuses. You either win or you don't. It's simple, and you got to try to win as much as you can, and that's the bottom line. And we're going to try to approach it that way. And the guys that you mentioned, they're important. They're important emotionally. They have great leadership, and you know, one of my coined phrases that I've used my entire coaching career is win anyway, regardless of what the circumstances, regardless of if a pitcher has a bad outing or you have 4 unearned runs in the first or you get 4 hits, you got to find a way to win. And it's not that easy. It's easy to say and hard to do, but as long as the approach is that way, I can live with it. You just can't, the game's too hard to put yourself in a position that makes it more difficult than it already is. So try to approach it the right way, do the best you can, and live with the circumstances. But those guys you mentioned are great leaders. They kind of change the mindset because they have so much experience, and they won't allow it to be any other way. And I'm grateful that I got some older guys on the team.
Tuesday, you said you were speculating that Jackie would need surgery. Obviously, he's going to have that surgery tomorrow. With that known now, is there any chance for him to return this season?
I think there is a chance, although it may not be in a role that we would be excited about necessarily, but I think that he could be available possibly to play defense toward the end, maybe even run bases. You know, will we do that or not? I don't know. Will he be 100% swinging the bat? That remains to be seen. So the chances of him coming back maybe are slightly better than they were before, but that's not saying that he will be back. He just could be back in a different role. And you know, Jackie and I talked a little bit yesterday, and I said, hey, if we can get you into the game in the 8th and 9th inning with a lead, you go make one play, one catch, it could make a difference. But certainly we wouldn't do that to jeopardize his future or his health right now. So we'll see how it goes. But the way it's all been described to me is the last thing to recover will be his ability to swing the bat, of course. So just have to let it play out.
Along the same lines, he's been very determined in what he's saying to people about coming back and wanting to play again. Can you describe more of those conversations you guys have had and maybe how his determination will factor into whether he does come back?
Jackie's funny. He's, you know, sometimes, and he's been this way his entire career with me, when we talk about something very serious, he listens. But he has a mindset as well on what the solution may be. And when you talk about injuries, you spell it out just like the hamate, and just like his hand before, and just like yesterday when I had the conversation with him, and we go through the time frame and we talk about maybe what if down the road, and he listens and he looks at you and he says, but you know, I recover quicker than most people. And so he has that about him, that he feels like, you know, whatever is being said, he'll probably be back a little bit sooner. So he has a great attitude about it, and so far he has sort of bounced back quicker than some other situations. So we'll see. He's had a great attitude about it. I know he's disappointed he's missing time, but he's going to approach it the best way he can.
Coach, just looking, Auburn seems to be kind of a dogfight here in the SEC West. Can you just touch on their program and just challenge you
I know that for those of you that are here on a regular basis, you always say, well, he's got the coach speak going again. But the truth of the matter is, when we play in this league, I think everybody's a top 25 team, regardless of the week you're playing them. Everybody's good. You don't get any weekends off. Auburn won the West last year. They're very, very talented. I think they got 7 guys hitting 300 or better. Patterson, who's slightly under 300, leads them with 7 home runs. Big guy can hit them a long way. Varnador has settled in as a weekend guy for him. I think he's scheduled for Saturday. John Luke Jacobs will pitch on Friday. Casey McElroy, their shortstop, is their leading hitter at about 360 clip right now. They're very dangerous offensively. I think they're an outstanding club, as everybody is in our league. So you just hope that, you know, we'll continue to play well, play good defense, get good pitching that we've had, and stay in a position to win a game. But they're very talented.
Ray, you're playing an Auburn team this weekend that's coming from the state that's just been devastated by tornadoes. Your thoughts on what they're going through, and have you talked to anybody at Auburn?
You know, I tried to reach Coach Bilowski earlier today, and he returned my call, and he missed me. And they played a home game last night. Apparently, that front might have missed them. We got a tweet today from Coach Gaspard over at Alabama that he had accounted for all of his players and his staff, and everybody was safe there. But I did speak to another one of my friends over in Birmingham a little while ago, and there was quite a bit of devastation, obviously, from Tuscaloosa through parts of Birmingham, and that keeps a lot of things in perspective. You know, we're talking about trying to play baseball, and it's reality, and we've all been following, you know, the storms the last few days, and certainly, you know, thoughts and prayers are with those people that have gone through some devastation.
Ray, in respect to injuries, to take you back a second, these are not seasoned professionals with $million contracts. These are kids still. Do you have to take on a little bit more of a father figure kind of role when these kids get injured? I know I talked to Adam after he re-aggravated his hamstring, and you could tell it. He certainly wasn't right with the world. I mean, what do you do when kids go through this?
You know, the only thing that I get involved in is if I really think there's some emotions that are going in the wrong direction. You know, they're sad, they're depressed, they're angry. That's where I try to make sure, hey, it is what it is. Don't bang yourself up against the wall. You're going to get well, you're going to be fine. Those kind of things. And we, I typically, my routine has changed a little bit in the last month. I go into the training room every day now, and I didn't used to do that because now I go in there. If I want to talk to my players, I know where they are. And I go in and I crack a few jokes every day, and just yesterday I was kidding Matthews about there's no way you can go into professional baseball. You won't have a training room like we got here. So he's a regular in there. He's there as we speak right now. But we try to have fun with it. It's been humorous a little bit. You can kind of take it light, or you can get depressed if you want to. I mean, it's been some of our coaches' meetings. We've sat down and said, well, who's playing here? Who's coming off the bench? It's a bit unusual. You know, usually you're not completely depleted and playing pitchers in the outfield and that kind of thing. But you just have to deal with it and make the most out of it.
How is his progress, Matthews?
He took batting practice yesterday. First time being on the field since he re-injured his hamstring. He took some swings. Felt pretty comfortable in there. But I mean, we're not close. We're still a ways away. But at least he can start, seeing some pitches in the batting cage. So making some progress.
At this point in the season, should Michael Roth be considered as a National Pitcher of the Year?
Maybe a little bit early for that. Win a few more games, I would give him my vote. But yeah, he's done a great job for us, as you know. He's been very special in our situation, and I thought he would compete and battle and do all the things that you would want him to do in the program. But he's been beyond that. He's been very, very special. But we have a lot of 4 weeks to go in the regular season, so there's some challenges ahead of him.
Just going back to Jackie, again, the conversations you've had with him, maybe in regard to his future, and kind of the delicate timetable of when he would be trying to come back, and that being near the draft date and all that, and he's got a lot of things to play for, I guess.
Well, I think there's probably a lot of things on his mind, but you know, number one, I will never put him back in the lineup if I don't think he's ready to go, and the doctors feel 100% comfortable that he's okay to play. And if he feels the same way, then, you know, he gets a chance, and then we're talking best case scenario that he sneaks back in there for a few games at the end. And I don't even know that's going to happen. But I mean, when you look about it, when you talk about his future, the professional baseball deal, he's probably going to be, you know, picked about the same spot that he would have been. I know some people say he might have dropped a little bit, but he's still going to get picked very well, and he wasn't played all summer anyway. The draft, the way it works for the top picks, they don't play in the summertime. If anything, they play, you know, toward the end of August, or a few, you know, 25 or 30 at bats in early September. So that doesn't affect him so much from that standpoint.
Ray, the start pitching last week in the Starkville was kind of up and down. I mean, the guys struggled but still seemed to do pretty well. Was that just maybe how Mississippi State approached the plate, maybe crowded it a little bit more? Do you expect all to do the same kind of thing?
Well, I don't, you know, I think the approach is probably a little bit different offensively, but, you know, I felt like Roth, he gave us a good game. It was well documented that it wasn't his best game, but if you look at his line, you'd be fooled by that. The results were what they were. I think we won that game 8-2, and it's still a pretty good line. Colby had 5 quality innings. I don't think he had any walks in his game, but maybe 2 runs. So a pretty good outing for him. Now, Forrest didn't have as good outing on Sunday, got knocked around a little bit early, but, you know, I'll take that. You know, we'll keep it the way it is right now and keep battling and hope that, you know, our bullpen continues to do a good job if we get them in a position.
I know you only approach one game at a time, but do you see Westmoreland as maybe continuing to be your weekday starter?
Well, you know, see what happens. He'll be active this weekend. I think he threw in the 70s. When was that? Tuesday. He had 70-something pitches, and he'll be active this weekend. Auburn has quite a few left-handed batters, so we'll keep him on a 27-man roster and see if he comes out of the bullpen. If he comes out of the bullpen, that would affect what he does next week. But he threw the ball much better. I said after Tuesday's game, he was on the verge of a really good outing. I think he had 7 strikeouts in 4 1/3 or so, and maybe gave up a couple more hits than he would like to, but he was close. His velocity was up. He rolled some breaking balls in there and got a few changeups over. So he like I said, he was close to having a really good outing.
Anything else for Coach Tanner? All right, thank you.